Astronauts talk about scary things they witnessed in space. Whoever gets the chance to go to space consider themselves very lucky. But when you're in space, you don't expect to see anything other than stars and planets. But when you do see or hear something other than the expected, it's most definitely haunting. Astronauts can observe the Earth in a manner that none of us can. It looks spectacular and incredible. However, not every view is breathtaking. While in space, some astronauts have experienced strange and often scary encounters. It makes us question what we have yet to learn. We'll look at some of these fascinating phenomena in today's video. Before continuing on this adventure with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to receive regular updates. Now, it's time to take a better look at some of these bizarre incidents. One of the things we've been told is that there is no sound in space. There is nothing except a vacuum. However, what astronaut Yang Liwei has gone through drastically alters this theory. In 2003, astronaut Yang, the first Chinese astronaut to go into space, was sitting in his space shuttle when he apparently heard a knock. He compared the sound to someone pounding on an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. He stated it didn't come from the exterior or the inside of the spaceship. Naturally, he became concerned and peered out the porthole, but he couldn't find any explanation for the strange knock. He couldn't figure out where the sound came from. He even attempted to replicate the sound for experts to assist him in identifying it, but he could not imitate it. Why this story is strange is because space is assumed to remain silent due to the lack of a medium for sound to pass through. It is supposed to be a vacuum. Sound flows via a medium, air particles, molecules, or atoms. So if Yang Liwei hears the knocking, something substantial may have struck the astronaut's spacecraft. Any such idea, on the other hand, is simply hypothetical. But the strangest thing is that there were others too who experienced this. Other Chinese astronauts claim to have heard similar sounds between 2005 and 2008. Hearing a sound is one thing, but seeing a snake in space is on a whole next level. Astronaut Franklin Story Musgrave claimed to have seen a white 8-foot snake floating through space. Not once, but twice this has occurred. He described it as rubbery because it contained internal nerves and followed him for an extended amount of time. According to Story Musgrave, the longer you fly in space, the more you observe an enormous quantity of things out there, which leads you to believe almost without a doubt that there are other living species out there. These organisms can be primitive or made up of a mixture of acids and proteins. But if they exist, one thing is sure, they have been there for 1,000,000 years and can possibly do unthinkable things. However, there is another explanation. It might not be a snake, but simply a rubber seal from the engine. In 1969, when Apollo 11 was launched into space, the whole world was watching. NASA astronaut Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. NASA reports that after Armstrong landed on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission in 1969, the transmission was lost for around 2 minutes. NASA's official explanation for this is that one of the two television cameras overheated, causing the communication to Earth to be interrupted briefly. However, there are rumors that Neil Armstrong observed a spaceship and sent a message to NASA claiming that the spacecraft is enormous and there was also an additional spacecraft. It is believed that Neil stated that these creatures were observing us from the moon. Up until now, people are still discussing on what knowledge was concealed in that 2-minute window of no communication. The weird phenomena during the Apollo mission do not end there. 3 NASA astronauts circled the moon as part of the Apollo 10 mission just a few months before Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin made their historic moon landing. Astronauts put various equipment to the test during this test run. Because this was not a simulation but actual space, the stakes were extremely high. Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan were the 3 astronauts on this mission. On their headphones, the astronauts heard a peculiar whistling that they subsequently characterized as space music. One of their goals was to test the technology that allowed the lunar lander module of the spacecraft to detach and reattach to the command module of the spacecraft. However, something unusual occurred. For several hours, the modules were not connected. The team, however, began to hear weird noises. An audio recording was made of the sounds. When they heard strange noises originating from their instruments, they were startled. Even today, after all those years, it is still unknown what created the unusual sounds. There are only a few possibilities. One possibility is an interference between the charged particles and the module's radio communication. However, because the moon lacks an atmosphere, it cannot source these particles. Alternatively, radio interference could be the cause of this strange encounter. In 2005, astronaut Leroy Chiao, who served as commander of the International Orbit Station for 6.5 months, had a life-changing experience in space. He and his crew witnessed a series of strange lights in space. These lights were arranged in an inverted V pattern. Chiao believes he was visited by extraterrestrials. He did say, though, that he does not entirely believe it. He has an open mind and believes in the existence of extraterrestrial life, but he does have a question. If there is life out there that is more powerful and intelligent than humanity, why doesn't it show itself? Well, it's a mystery to which no one knows the answer. When it comes to mysteries, the UFOs is a constant source of debate for people. The sighting of a UFO has made headlines all over the world. Sighting one UFO is one thing, but seeing a fleet of UFOs over a period of time is astonishing. During his time in the Air Force, astronaut Gordon Cooper observed an entire fleet of UFOs. In 1951, he witnessed his first UFO sighting in West Germany. Then in 1957, it happened again. He was in Edwards, working with his crew to build up a precision landing system on a dry lake bed. As an aeroplane landed, this technology could take photographs. According to Cooper's report, when they returned to work, they witnessed a saucer-like aircraft that made no sound after landing or taking off. He called the Pentagon at the time to report his sightings. He claimed that he had even sent the photos, which he believed were of excellent quality. He believes that because it is such a big story, an investigation will be launched. But, much to his amazement, nothing like that ever happened. He was not contacted about this occurrence, and he has no idea what happened to the photos. There are various interpretations of what a UFO should look like. The majority of it is saucer-shaped, but no one expected it to be cylindrical. Musa Manarov, a cosmonaut, observed a visiting space capsule settle nearby during a trip in 1991. This cylindrical UFO was purportedly captured on film by him. He was filming when he noticed an object that appeared to be stemming from the spacecraft. The gleaming item seemed to be swiveling and moving through space. As it drifted away from his capsule, Manarov continued to watch it. He is confident he saw something up there, but he is unsure of what it exactly was. He insists, though, that it was not space garbage. It's been confirmed that astronauts have seen some pretty terrifying things in space. These strange astronaut stories indicate that space is not for the faint of heart. This collection of odd things astronauts observed in space makes us doubt our preconceptions. So, which of these mysterious phenomena amazed you the most? Please share your views in the comment section, and we'd love to hear from you. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Thank you again for watching. We will be back with more exciting videos on space. Until then, take care.